wanted to do a short little video. I'm at the Palmetto State Park, and I think we have a really nice visual of what's happening with the environment and the heat kind of moving throughout different regions. But if we look here at the dwarf palmetto palm here in Texas, we're located right about here, which is right on the outskirts of where they've been growing for the last 10,000 years. And this is how it used to be right here. So Austin, Palmetto, and because we're so close to this little area where the temperatures are changing, you can see the decline in the palmettos. And just as you look around, the fronds are just laying down. We've got, I believe, a fungal disease right here. So you usually have signs of stress first, and they start subtle, and then it becomes more drastic, like we're looking at here. There's just more of them falling. The fronds are failing, and the temperatures have risen so much they're outside of their acclimated environment that they're used to for 10,000 years. I find it kind of, it's kind of sad, but to see it visually, I think, is important. So I just wanted to take a quick video and show how these palmettos that have been here 10,000 years are now showing signs of the environmental changes that they're in. Okay, one other thing I wanted to add here. This usually has water in it, and I mean, it's pretty much dry as a bone, at least on the surface. I would imagine if you were to poke down just a few inches, it might be moist, but again, this usually has a little bit of water in it. And again, just the changes that we're seeing. So relating this to trees, I've heard many times, like, my trees have been here for hundreds of years. I figure they don't need anything. They don't need any water. Yeah, maybe that was the case like 50 years ago, 100 years ago, certainly a few hundred years ago, but it's not the same anymore. In addition to that, the environment that they're in, particularly if it's at your house, they're not anything the same. The house has been built, trees have been taken down, the soil's been compacted, all types of things are different. So it's not the same environment. They don't have the same root system. So anyway, this is just an example of how environmental changes on a pretty large scale can make a difference, such as this. Same thing with small areas like a house being built. It can make an absolutely magnificent difference much faster, as in like 2 years, versus this has taken hundreds of years, and well, thousands, technically thousands, okay. But I think it's ramping up, but that's besides the point. And another thing here to think about, this whole area has evolved over thousands of years. There's a type of clay that's just below the surface, which is one of the reasons that the palmettos here have survived as long as they have. Clay absorbs water much slower, like in an extreme would be sand. Sand, water penetrates really fast. Clay, because it's so tight, the particles are so small and tight, water penetrates really slow. It absorbs very slow. So the water will be held up above that area longer. So here, that's what happens. That's why there's normally swamps right there, but there are none. So when we think about our lawns in the urban environment, compaction can do the same kind of things. Areas where there was soil and the water would penetrate properly for years, when tractors and foot traffic go across, it changes that. So water doesn't penetrate the same. It holds, it can stand, it can get anaerobic. Actually walked past an area where the soil was actually anaerobic here. So, and that's where diseases start, like phytophthora, all types of things, root diseases. You get a lot of basal rots and things. So I'm just saying, this whole area was built to live in this environment, and they're struggling. The urban environment, it can change really quick by new construction, and that compaction, and if you've got clay, even more so, can make all the difference in the world. So anyway, just making you aware. If you have any questions, let me know. Post them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. All right, bye.